Hello everyone. In this video lessons, we are going to take the second question of the Neco 2021 paper 2 part 1 question, and it's going to be the second part. Remember, I told you last time that we are going to be taking each of these questions in our subsequent 5 videos that we'll be producing. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, you are truly missing a lot on the solutions. And as you prepare for your NECO exam this year, these solutions is going to help you a lot. Today we're going to look at question number 2, and it's going to be a question on uh, gradient coordinate geometry and the parallelogram of a shape, that is the plane measuration or measuration of plane shapes. Now we'll go straight to question number 2a, and in the question in question number 2a, the question says a straight line passes through point A, which is a comma 0, and B, which is b comma minus 1. The question now says find the gradient of the line, that is I, and the II says the equation of the line. Now this is going to be a question that involves coordinate geometry, and I want us to look for an answer, solve them together. Now if you are familiar with coordinate geometry, we are going to solve this question together, and then you'll come to find out what it truly means. Now this question is going to fetch you 8 marks, and now look at how we are going to go about the solution. Now remember, in that question you are given two coordinate points. You are given coordinate point A, which is 3 comma 0, and then coordinate point B, which is 2 comma what, minus 1. Now I want you to note two things, that this is x1. If this is x1, this is y what, 1, and this is what, x2, while this is y what, 2, for the two coordinates. Now they say we should find the gradient of the line. Now in coordinate geometry, we are meant to understand that a straight line has this equation: y is equal to mx plus what, plus c, where m is a what, is the gradient, c is a constant or the intercept of the line, while this is a value for y. Now if you are looking for the gradient of a line, we are going to use a formula. And what is the formula? The gradient of a line G, the gradient of a line G, that is G, is equal to what, is will give us what, it will give us m, which is the value, which is the sign, the alphabet for gradient, equal to what, y2 minus y what, 1, all over what, x2 minus x what, x1. Now if we look at this equation, you can come to see that we have our y2, we have our y1, we have our x2, and we have our what, our y2. This is a constant equation you can use to look for the gradient, and now we are looking for the gradient, which is m. So our m now can be equal to y2 is what, minus 1 minus y1 is what, 0, right, all over what, x2 is what, 2 minus bracket x1 is what, x1 is what, 0. So this will be equal to minus 1 minus 0 will give us minus 1, all over what, 2 minus what, 2 minus 3 will give us what, minus 1. So what do we have here? Minus 1 will cut minus 1, and we'll have 1 remaining. So our m now will be equal to what, 1 divided by 1, which is equal to what, m. So you see that the gradient of the line is equal to what, the gradient of the line is equal to 1, and that is the value we desire to look for. Now, having gotten the gradient of the line, the next thing we need to look for now is we need to look for the equation of the line. Now, what is the formula for the equation of a line? Now, the equation of a line, which is the question II, the equation of a line is y minus what? Y1 all over what? X minus what? X1, and that will be equal to what? Equal to y2 minus y1 all over what? X2 minus what? X what? X1. Now, using this equation, we can be able to find the equation of what? The equation of the line. Now, how do we go about that? All we need to do is to fix the parameters. We are going to fix the parameters for x1, y1, x2, and what? And then y what? And then y2. Now, let's go ahead to fix these parameters. Now, if we fix that parameters, we are going to get a value. We're going to get our y minus y1 is what? Remember, our y1 is what? Is 0. So y minus 0 all over x minus our x1 is what? Our x1 is 3 minus 3. And that will be equal to what? Y2 is what? Y2 is minus 1. We'll have our minus 1 minus bracket. Y1 is what? Y1 is what? 0. That is minus 0 all over what? X2 is what? X2 is 2 and x1 is what? 3. So we are going to have what? 2 minus what? Minus 3. That is the equation we are looking for. So let's simplify. Y minus 0 is going to give us what? Y over what? X minus what? 3. That will be equal to what? Minus 1 minus 0 will give us minus 1 all over 2 minus 3 will give us what? Minus 1. So what do we do here? We are going to what? We are going to cross multiply. But because before we cross multiply, you should note that minus will cut what? Minus to make the equation simpler for us. So when you cross multiply, y times y will give us what? Y equal to what? Y equal to 1 into bracket what? X minus what? X minus 3. So if you multiply this, we are going to have our y to be equal to what? X minus 3. Now, this is not going to be an equation because an equation, a full equation, should be equal to 0. So we can say this is what? This is equal to what? Y will be equal to what? X minus what? Minus 3. Now, if you look at this equation very well, you should come to see now that the constant is what? The constant is 3, right? And our m is what? Our m is what? 1, because 1 is here. If there is no value there, it means 1 is there. So that means this equation is absolutely what? Is absolutely correct. So we have our y to be equal to x minus what? 3. That's the equation of the straight line. And I guess you understand this very well. Now let's look at the next question. The next question now says we should do what? The next question says we should, given, it says ABCD is a parallelogram with AB 8 centimeter, AB 6 centimeter, and angle ABC at 60 what? 60 degree. The question says you should do what? You should calculate correct three significant figures. The area of what? The area of triangle ABC and parallelogram AC. And this is going for 4 marks, I guess, because this would have taken 2 marks. Now let's look at how we can find the solution to that question. Now when we talk about a parallelogram is a shape that have the two opposite sides to be what? To be equal. So if we have a parallelogram, we'll have something like this, we'll have something like this, and something like this. Now this side is equal to this side is also equal to what? This side. So if we take this as our angle, we'll take this as our as the height of the parallelogram. If that is the height of the parallelogram, that means here will be what? This angle will be what? 60 what? Degree. That will be 60 degree. This side will be what? 6 centimeter, because it's the smallest what? Is the smallest side, and this side will be what? Will be 8 what? Centimeter. Now recall that they say this is parallelogram A, D, B, and what? And C. I guess we are getting this. This is going to be 60 what? Degree. Now this is a typical of the parallelogram we are asked to what? We are asked to calculate. Now the question now says we should do what? We should the question says we should the first question says calculate correct to three significant figures. Correct to three significant figures. The area of triangle ABC. Now, what is the area of the triangle? We are going to calculate that first. Now, the area of the triangle ABC. This is the triangle we are looking for. Sorry about this. Good. Now, this is the what? This is the area we are looking for. Triangle A, B, and what? C. We are looking for the area of the triangle A, B, and C. And remember, this point is what? 60 degree. This is 8 centimeter, and this is also 6 what? Centimeter. Why this is also what? This will also be what? This will also be 6 what? This will also be 6 what? Centimeter. Why this is what? 8 centimeter. So these are the point we want to look at. So if we analyze this now, we are going to find out that the area of triangle ABC, the area of a triangle, the area of the triangle will be equal to half what? Half base, half times the base times the what? Times the height. Now, what is the base? The base is what? 8 centimeter, and the height is what? Is this value we have here. We don't have the height, and now we have to look for the height first before we can be able to calculate this. Now, to calculate this side, which is the height, we are going to look at this angle 60 degree. It's opposite over what? Over the hypotenuse, because if we consider this angle, let's bring out that angle out. This is the height, and this part is going to be 6 what? Centimeter. Why this is angle 60 what? Degree. Now this is opposite over what? Over the hypotenuse. This is the opposite, this is the hypotenuse. So it's going to give us sine what? Sine of 60 to be equal to opposite over the what? Over the hypotenuse. That's the sine of an angle. Now the opposite is what? High is h. Sine 60 will now be equal to what? H over 6 what? Centimeter. So our h now will now be equal to 6 sine what? Sine 60 what? Degree. Now sine 60 degree is going to give us 0. 0.8660. So 6 times 0.8660 will give our height. If we point it in the calculator, you are going to see that our height will be equal to what? Will be equal to 5.196. That's what we are going to get. So that is the height for this value h. So the area of the triangle now will now be what? Half times the base, which is 8 centimeter, times the what? Height, which is what? 5 point what? Which is 5.196 centimeter. Right? So 2 here, 1. 2 here will give us what? 4 centimeter. So that will be equal to what? 4 centimeter times what? 5.196 centimeter. Remember, we are looking for the area of the what? The area of the triangle. So 4 times 5.196 centimeter. If you point it in the calculator, we are going to get what? We are going to get this value to be equal to what? 20 point what? 20.782 centimeter what? Square. Now that place says you should calculate it to what? To 3 significant figure. Now the 3 significant figure, if we do that, we are going to have what? 20 point what? 20.7, 20 point what? 20.8 what? 20.8 centimeter what? Square. That is exactly what we are going to what? We're going to have. So this is the what? This is the area of the triangle. Now the next question there says we should look for the what? We should look for the parallelogram A, B, C and what? And D. A, B, C, D. Now if we want to calculate the parallelogram A, B, C, D, we need to look at the formula for finding what? A parallelogram. Now the area, remember that question says you should calculate the area of parallelogram A, B, C, D. Now considering these 2 points, the area of a parallelogram can be the area of a parallelogram, that is the second question. Area of a parallelogram can be equal to what? Area of what? Of parallelogram can be equal to, it depends on what you want to use, but if you use any of this formula, you're going to get your what? You're going to get your answer correctly. So area of a parallelogram can be AB sine theta if you want to use the angle, or it can be equal to what? To the base times the what? Times the height. So it can be equal to AB sine theta, or it can be equal to what? To the base times the what? Times the height. So if we look at that our parallelogram, what is the base? The base is what? 8 what? Centimeter. And now we have gotten the height, so we can make good use of the what? Of the height, which we got as our what? As our 5.196 centimeter. So our base is what? Our base is 8 centimeter multiplied by what? 5.196 centimeter. So if we calculate these two things, we are going to have 9.8 times 5, we are going to have what? 41 point what? 41.568 centimeter square. Now this is going to, in 3 significant figure, is going to give us what? Is going to give us if we calculate that in 3 significant figure, we are going to get 3 significant figure we are going to get this value 41. We are going to get 40. This will give us what? 41 point what? 0.6 centimeter what? Square. And that is what we are going to get as the what? As the area of the parallelogram. Now remember, you can also use this formula. If you use this formula for the area of a parallelogram, AB sine what? Sine theta, you are still going to get your 41.6 what? Centimeter, because this is the base, this is the side, the other side B, and this is sine 60. So if you use this, you are still going to arrive at this same what? This same value. But since we've gotten the height, there will be no need of doing that. We can just use the base times the height. We'll get the value for what? For the area of a parallelogram. Now, solving this question will fetch you 8 good marks, and that is what you need to solve to get your mark. So familiarize yourself with the areas and of all these plane shapes and see how you can master them, so that in the course of your exams you can easily produce them and then solve your question. Thanks so much for watching, and look forward to seeing you watch the next question, which is going to be question number 3, which is question on speed and the what? And the quadratic equation. Thanks so much for watching.